Ah, spooky season. I love Halloween, okay? This is my favourite time of the year. You know, if I could describe Uzumaki in one word, it would have to be... Someone I don't talk about enough on this channel is Junji Ito. That might capture the amount of love I actually have for this author, because I've mentioned him a few times. He's a straight-up artist, both literally and metaphorically. His work delves into the darkest depths of the human psyche, and his pen has conjured up some of the creepiest panels anyone has ever seen. This is actually a good depiction of what I look like after a night out in Wetherspoons. Yeah, I did say I liked him, but there was a slight problem. With his work becoming so popular, it was inevitable that someone was going to recreate on the screen what he was doing with a pen.
Where's my precious mommy?
Presenting the Junji Ito collection and a good handful of live-action adaptations. The problem with trying to match the same feeling of immersion from the source material of, like, anything is that most of the time it just doesn't work. You need to find your own identity and build upon it. You know, Harry Potter, Dune, Attack on Titan, they use the source material and they build upon it in the right way. Good casting decisions, good soundtrack, good pacing. If you're enjoying this video, feel free to subscribe. It means a lot. Now, my thoughts on the collection were a little bit polarizing. The collection anime tried to capture the lightning in a bottle, which was the art of Junji Ito, and they kind of ended up falling short a little bit. It's not to say people didn't enjoy it. For the most part, I didn't mind the collection, but my question always remained, why? And the answer always seemed to be money. But then something happened, something which a lot of people might consider miraculous. In 2019, it was announced that there was a collaboration project in order to create a faithful adaptation of Uzumaki, one of Junji Ito's more popular stories. It was a blend of an Adult Swim in-house production and Production IG, with Hiroshi Nagahama at the helm, who has a great track record. I mean, Mushishi was good. If anyone watch Mushi, it's pretty good. And so, delay after delay, the world saw what this project was all about, and we all collectively threw our hands up in the air and celebrated. Why? Well, because it looked like the pages of Uzumaki actually came to life. As I'm saying this, episode 1 and 2 has come out, and I can really get behind this visual style. You know, making the anime black and white is a great idea for two reasons. The first is it makes the show seem that much better at depicting the source material, which of course is black and white. The second reason is colouring animation can be a massive pain in the arse. Basically, if you remove the colour, you get way more time to work on the animation itself, which, for a story including so many damn spirals, is a great thing. As far as contorting people's bodies go, the animation has been pretty solid, so has the detail. It really feels like you're looking at the pages of the book.
Bendy Wendy!
Now, going back to what I said earlier, there's things you can implement which work and things that don't. For the most part, what Adult Swim has done here has been fantastic, like genuinely good decisions. The voice acting so far has been pretty good. I mean, I've gone through the sub, I've looked at a bit of the dub, it's pretty consistent. And the music, what a great choice that was. Oh my god, the size of that saxophone, Jesus Christ. Colin Stetson has composed a lot of music for horror films, so getting him involved has had a great effect on capturing a tone for Uzumaki. When I read the manga, I can probably play this soundtrack in the background and have a great time. Colin apparently has this technique called circular breathing when he plays his saxophone. It makes this really unconventional sound, and anything with a circle involved is gonna be perfect for this story. All this being said, earlier I did mention pacing being something that people can trip up on when recreating something, and I hate to say it, but this anime runs very, very quickly. I saw the anime was going to be 4 episodes long, so I was like, okay, cool, about 40 minutes each, potentially, but no, the episodes are actually just over 20 minutes each, which is a huge cause for concern with a book this detailed. When you're reading the book, a lot of the effect comes from the apprehension of turning the page, to be shocked by some horrific imagery. The same thing goes for horror films. You take your time, you build tension, and then you hit people with the jump scare. But with Uzumaki, it needs to slow down. Way down. You have a town which is so eerie, and I think the show could have spent a lot more time building up the atmosphere, even before revealing anything, you know, take your time before showing it. Have the music ramp up and really make it hit home. This show starts with Kyrie giving a quick bit of exposition of the town, which is identical to the book. There isn't any build-up, and I feel like there could have been way less dialogue at the pre-credit sequence. Just a few more seconds of showing the town really pull us into it, because the town in itself is a character in Uzumaki. I felt like the soundtrack alone was enough to tell people things if you accompany it with the right shots, you know, like swelling puddles, maybe have some characters peering through their windows at the sky, that sort of thing. It might sound like filler, but it actually sets the mood. The scene with Kyrie seeing Shuichi's dad looking at the snail at the start was taken out, which is sad because it's actually quite an effective scene in the book because it establishes who this man is, and instead it cuts to Shuichi getting off the train and immediately freaking out about his dad. They even showed the whole eyeball rolling scene, which doesn't come up until a little later into the original story. It's later on in the story because Junji Ito wants to build up to the fact that there is something wrong happening in this village. You know, he wants to create curiosity. Like, when you see this at the very start, the effect just isn't the same. You've effectively cut out any sense of preparation, and this continues throughout the entire 2 episodes. There's no pauses, no moments to make the audience wonder. It's just scary scene to scary scene to scary scene, and it's all down to the runtime. You know, I think these episodes should be longer or just have more of them. But yeah, the pacing isn't the worst issue in the world. If you like the story, you're still gonna get a pretty great homage to the book, and if you've never seen Junji Ito before, it still does a bang-up job presenting the audience what his stories are like, and I'm sure a lot of people would still find it pretty creepy. I think this has definitely boiled down to time limitations, as do a lot of things production-wise. Animation is hard and there's pressure involved, so to be able to get a product which is even slightly good through the door can be a miracle sometimes, but there's a lot of artists out there who I'm sure would be willing to help out on this. I'm sure a lot of them would have even done it for very little money if they just wanted to make something out of passion. You know, much like Studio Eclipse with Berserk, if that even gets allowed to be made at this point. Oh god. But Uzumaki, from what I've seen, is a great product. Like, it set out what it wanted to do, and it kind of did achieve that, to a far better extent than anything else has to this point. So far, the artists have done an amazing job. There's still 2 more episodes to come out, so I'm really interested to see where it's taken. Yeah, look, I'm always going to recommend the book to people, okay? Like, this is just the best version of it. It makes sense. I think the Uzumaki series serves as a really good gateway to Junji Ito's illustrated works, especially for people who aren't really sure what they're getting into. You know, to that extent, 100% I think it succeeded, and it looks amazing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe if you are new, and take care.